envelopes on the table there, and let's see, I think the last slide here, there it is. So yeah, if anybody wants to help support the project, feel free to help us out. We would appreciate it very much. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, sir.
As far as preventing pregnancies, are you involved in that also?
Well, I mean, I think this is, you mean as far as preventing them, as far as abstinence training and that kind of thing?
Like birth control, or they're telling kids, you know, like when they're like 10 and 11 these days.
Good question.
You know, are you involved in that also before it happens?
Only in the sense of the conversations that we have with the students on these campuses. Yes. When we talk to them, the topics can vary from birth control to abortion to, but it's, in those conversations that comes up, and it's one of the things that we talk about a lot. And that is that if they didn't have sex outside of marriage, they wouldn't get pregnant and they wouldn't have a need for abortion. So that is part of our message.
Because I worked in a inner city for 21 years now. And then in the beginning, I was baffled, I was upset. Abortions were right and left for my employees. And I would say, it's down to 0 now, because I make them go to their appointments to get their shots.
Right.
Before, like every 7-8 months, somebody is 2 weeks off. Why? Oh, I took an abortion. I would be like, out of my mind. I know I couldn't stop that part. What I started doing is preventing pregnancies.
Right.
And I would say I prevented at least 100 unwanted pregnancies.
And we're all for that. However, you need to understand that there is some birth control, so-called, that actually can cause an abortion. Abortion-inducing drugs and chemicals are some of our birth control today. So we would not suggest that to a woman. There are other ways. They need to be aware of what they're doing with the birth control, because it can cause an abortion if they're not educated on it, and they need to be aware of that. So it is part of what we're talking about with them. Okay, any other questions? If not, should I close up here? All right. I thank you very much for coming. I know it's a very difficult It's a difficult issue, obviously. We've had 40 years of abortion in this country. It's not going to end tomorrow, likely. But we're making huge progress in this state and across the country with public opinion. If you read the polls, it's shifting towards our position. Politicians understand the importance of being pro-life. I'm just holding their feet to the fire and say, listen, you campaign on being pro-life, you raise money being pro-life, you need to vote pro-life, and that means vote to end it regardless of the consequences, restore the right to life, which is a God-given right in our Declaration of Independence. So that's where we stand, and we're going to keep fighting until we get, we have no breath in our bodies. So God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Mark. It seems passing strange, we're about ready to celebrate Memorial Day and honor our veterans for, in some cases, giving their life, in other cases, having given their time and being willing to give their life to protect our nation. And we think, well, millions of people have been killed by the Department of Defense, and millions have also been killed by Planned Parenthood, and more millions by the Environmental Protection Agency by getting rid of DDT and restoring malaria as a world pest. So it's good to hear that some of us are working on at least part of the aspect to preserve life. And let's have a moment of silence to consider our veterans as we begin our Memorial Day weekend. Thank you. Can I see a showing of hands of how many here are veterans? Great. Veterans. final announcements for the day. Let's see. Homer Smith is off in West Virginia, meeting with his relatives who are coal miners. And I'm sure he's going to be converting a lot of them to voting against Obama this year. Obama seems to be at war with West Virginia in their primary industry there. But he wanted me to remind everybody about Friday, June 15th, the big Hill and Dale trap shooting. And so please keep that in mind. Any other announcements anybody wanted to make before we adjourn?
You can, anyone who wants any sort of shirt can order them through me. Someone just asked me for anybody but Obama shirt. I can do anything.
You can do an Obama shirt.
You know, that's a good idea. A lot of times it's so much fun just to come up with your own little unique idea and have somebody make a bumper sticker or a t-shirt. It's kind of like Obama's slogan. He wants the slogan forward this year. And I'm reminded, I think it was the Book of Solomon, where they were talking about people who were froward. Not forward, but froward. Check that one out in the dictionary. I think we need to change the O and the R around and get some bumper stickers out with that. Anyway, we thank you for coming, and we hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope to see you again.